Chapter 1, the BHAGAVAD GITA. I'm not going to pronounce anything right. Observing the armies on the battlefield of Kura, etc. The Atlas-Atman said, O Sadanya, after my sons and sons of Pandu assemble in a place of pilgrimage at Kura, etc., desiring to fight, what did they do? Sadanya said, O king, after looking after the army arranged in military formation by the sons of Pandu, King Iridahana went to take his teacher and spoke the following words. O my teacher, behold the great army of the sons of Pandu, so expertly arranged by your intelligent disciple, the son of Drupada. Here is the army are many heroic bowmen equal in fighting to Behema and Arjuna, great fighters like Iridahana and Virata and Drupada. There are also great heroic powerful fighters like Durasasaktu, Setetkanada, Kasiraraja, Irajikun Setetohaja, Sandia. There are the mighty Hamanakayu and the very powerful Uttamahaja, the son of Sabhadra, the sons of Drupadi. All these warriors are great chariot fighters. But for your information about the vessels of Brahmanas, let me tell you about the captains who are especially qualified to lead my military force. There are personalities like you, Vidisma, Karna, Kripa, Abhisasapahama, the Viratana, and the son of Sadamatakol, Viratasaparava, who are always victorious in battle. There are many other heroes who are prepared to lay down their lives for my sake. All of them are well equipped with different kinds of weapons, and all are experienced in military science. Our strength is immeasurable, and we are perfectly protected by grandfather Visma, whereas the strength of Pandavas, carefully protected by Bhishma, is limited. All of you must now give full support to grandfather Visma as you stand in your respective strategic points of entrance into the balance of the army. The Bhisma, the great veteran grandsire of the Kuru dynasty, grandfather of the fighters, blew his conch shell very loudly, making a sound like a roar of a lion giving victory to Hana. Result, shell, strong schools, trumpets, and horns were all suddenly sounding. The combined sound was tumultuous. On the other side, Krishna and Arjuna, stationed on a great chariot drawn by white horses, sounded their transcendental conch shells. Lord Krishna blew his conch shell called Hanekahanaya. Arjuna blew his Havadata, and Behema, and a voracious eater and performer of Herculean tasks, blew his terrific conch shell called Pandra. King Yakasapira, the son of Kunti, blew his conch shell, and Anatea Hamaya, and Nakila, and Sakadapila, blew the Sugahosa and Manapusakataka, that great archer, the king of Kasi, the great fighter, Sikandi, Durasadayamana, Virata, the unconquerable Santiyaki, Drupada, the sons of Drupadi, and others, O kings such as mighty armed son of Sudahadra, all blew their respective conch shells. The blowing of the different conch shells became uproarious, vibrating both in the sky and on the earth, which shattered the hearts of the sons of the Visakatakrasa. At that time, Arjuna, the son of Pandu, seated in the chariot bearing the flag marked by Haman, took up his bow and prepared to shoot his arrows. O king, after looking at the sons of the Hasasratasra, drawn in military array, Arjuna then spoke to Lord Krishna these words. Arjuna said, O infallible one, please draw my chariots between the two armies, so that I may see those present here who desire to fight and with whom I must contend in the great trial of arms. Let me see those who have come here to fight, wishing to please the evil-minded son of Hasasratasra. Satpataya said, O descendant of Akarata, having thus been addressed by Arunahana, Lord Krishna drew out of the fine chariot from the midst of the armies with no fighters. In the presence of Krishna, Rama, and all other chieftains of the world, the Lord said, this gift will part the whole Kuras assembled here. There are seen in the midst of the armies of the armies, his father's grandfather's speakers, and all the brothers, sons, grandsons, friends, and of his father-in-law and relatives. When the son of Kunti Arjuna saw all these different grades of friends and relatives, he came overwhelmed with compassion and spoke thus. Arjuna said, My dear Krishna, seeing my friends and relatives present before me in such a fighting spirit, I feel the limbs of my body quivering, and my mouth drying up. My whole body is trembling, my hair is standing on end, my bow, Galiva, is slipping from my hand, and my skin is burning. I am now unable to stand here any longer. I am forgetting myself in my mind and feeling. I see only causes of misfortune of Krishna, the other Kasabino. I do not see how any good can come from killing my only children in the battle, nor can I, dear Krishna, desire any subsequent victory, kingdom, or happiness. O good, what available to us our kingdom, happiness, we delight itself, and all those for whom we desire, and our faith on the battlefield, O my Usadana. When teachers, fathers, sons, grandfathers, uncles, daughters-in-law, grandsons, brothers-in-law, and other relatives are raising up their lives and properties and are standing before me, why should I wish to kill them, even though they might otherwise kill me? I, the maintainer of all living entities, I am not prepared to fight with them, and who can exchange for 3 worlds, let alone this earth, the pleasure will we derive from killing sons of Krishna. Sin will constantly slays our aggressors. Therefore, it is not proper for us to listen to Krishna and our friends what we should gain of Krishna, husband of the goddess of fortune, and how to be happy by killing our own people. O Vijana Paradana, although these men, their hearts overtaken by greed, see no fault in killing one's family or quarreling with friends, why should we, who can see the crime and destroying family, engaged in these acts of sin? If the destruction of fantasy, the family tradition is famous and precedential family becomes involved in your religion. When your religion is found in the family of Krishna, the one family becomes rooted in the division of women that devote as opposed to diversity comes from less progeny. An increase of unwanted population certainly causes harsh life both of the family and both those who destroy the family tradition. The ancestors of such families after the food and water are entirely stopped. By evil deeds of those who show eventually can rescue the family to control their homes, the community projects and all the work activities are exceeded. This one, when it comes to the future, those who destroy family tradition will always be found.
taking control of the objective. Any resistance will be useless. Taking possession of the objective.
But an extinction
Double
is not
securing the objective. Backup request
It would be better to live in this world by day than live in the constant lives of great souls who are my teachers, even though desiring or regaining their superiors, if they are still will be changing. No future just have to come from them or being conquered by them. If they are now understanding the force I have here, that life refuse that my duty have lost all control because of misery, weakness, and condition. I'm asking you to tell me for certain what is best for me, and I am your disciple. My soul surrendered unto you. Please instruct me. I can find no reason I will live to you. This is where I make my places. I am not the I will ask for the pastors, and I will keep them on earth. The stars will fly around to heaven. The supreme personality of God, it said, while speaking learned words, you are mourning for what is not worthy to breathe. Those who are wise are unneeded for living culture. Never there time I did not exist. No even
left behind the barrier.
as the embodied soul continuously passes in this life, even though it's beautiful, the soul slowly passes into the body like that. The secret person body will be at the time. The soul can be the non-permanent appearance of happiness, and the stress when there is a feeling in due course. I love the appearances of circumstances in summer seasons. They allow some sense of second or silent of life, and one must learn to tolerate without being disturbed. Oh, best among men are you the person who is not disturbed by happiness and stress in this state, and though there's certainly no cultural religions. Those who are serious of the truth have concluded that of knowledge there is no endurance, and of the eternal soul there is no change. This is absolutely by studying the nature of life. That is the reason the entire body is never being discovered, never with the soul and the soul. The eternal body of the instruction everyone is telling them be should come from man, therefore 5% of the BHAGAVAD. Neither be the thing to living entity of the slayer, nor be things that is slain is in knowledge, but subsequent not, nor it is slain. For the soul there is no he is not slain when the body is slain. The body is inserted with wrong world, except new material bodies giving up the old ones and useless ones. The soul can never be better desensitized by weapon, or burned by fire, or amazing by water, or wind, or wind. This individual soul is unbreakable and unsolvable, and can be either burned or dried. He is everlasting, hyperboreal, unchangeable, immutable, and eternally the same. If the soul is invisible, inconceivable, and immutable, none emits even undue for the body. Yet however you think the soul is produced alive, is that he's falling down, he still had no reason to hold offense, oh my God. One person is the first eye, and after death, one is pretty quickly within. Therefore, in the unavailable discharge of your duty, you should not relent. All created things are unmanifest from the beginning, manifest in an intervening state, and unmanifest again in annihilated. So what need is there for modification? Some will call this one as amazing, and some describe it as amazing, and some will hear it as amazing, while others, even after hearing about it, don't understand that at all. Those handed the fact that if you dwells in the body, can never be installed, therefore you need not grieve for any living being. Considering your duty, you forsake duty as a area. You should know that there is no engagement for reason fighting our responsibilities, considering no need for engagement. Happy are the good times, the things that fighting opportunities, and signs, everything for them with the glories of the heavenly planets. But however, you do not perform your religious duty of fighting, and you will certainly incur sins for neglecting your duties, and thus lose your reputation as a fighter. People will always speak of your infamy, for as a respectable person dishonored you like that. The great those who have highly esteemed your name and fame will think that you have left the battlefield out of fear only, and thus they will consider you significant. But simultaneously, either you will be killed on the battlefield and attain the heavenly planets, or you will conquer the brother of the human, therefore you have the determination to fight. Do now fight, for the sake of fighting, without considering happiness or distress, loss or gain, victory or peace, and by so doing you shall never incur sin. That's why I have established knowledge to you through analytical study. Now listen as I explain it in terms of working without truth that results of son of birth. When you act in such knowledge, you improve yourself from bondage to works. It isn't that there is no loss of ammunition, and little advancements on this path undertaken by those dangerous have fear. Those who are on the path of resolution, not purpose, is their aim is our one, but the love of purpose, and intelligence of those who are resolute is many times. Men of soul knowledge are very much advanced to the power of words, so it is, but in various sweet activities, the elevation of the heavenly planets results in birth power, and so forth, being desirous of some gratification, quality of life. They say that there is nothing more than this. In the minds of those who are too attached to sense completeness and material opulence, the will be lured by such things, that there is a good determination for devotional service of the Supreme Lord, it does not take place. The Vedas deal mainly in subject 3 modes of pure nature, the origin of being transcendental to these 3 modes be free from all dualities, and from all anxieties for gain and safety, and establishment of self. All purposes served by a small, loud, and hand once be served, but a great reservoir of water. Similarly, all the purposes of the Vedas seem to be served to one who knows the purpose behind them. You have a right to perform your prescribed duty, but you are not entitled to a fixed action. Never consider yourself the cause and the result of your activities. Never be attached to not doing your duty. Perform your duty, and if was opposed, O Arjuna, and in all attachment to success or failure, such calamity is for yoga. Keep all honorable activities for artists and by devotional service and consciousness, surrender unto our Lord. Those who want to invoke fruits of the word are wisers. A man engaged in devotional service rids himself up with good and bad actions, even in his life. Therefore, strive for yoga, which is the art of all work. By thus engaging in devotional service, the great series of those feelings and results of bringing pure world. In this way, they come through the cycle of birth and death, and attain a state beyond the miseries of back to ballet. When your intelligence is passed out of the source of delusion, you shall become different, self-evident, harder, and all that is nearer. When your mind is no longer disturbed by the flowery language of the Vedas, and when your main six enhances self-realization, then you will attain the divine consciousness. Arjuna said, O Krishna, why are the symptoms of one who has consciousness and thus merged in transcendence? How does he speak, and what is his language? How does he sit, and how does he walk? The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O Partha, when a man gives up all varieties of desire for sense gratification, when arise for mental concoction, and when his mind thus purified finds the satisfaction in the self alone, then he is said to be pure in transcendental consciousness. O one who is not disturbed in mind, even amidst the threefold miseries or elevated, when there is happiness, and who is free from attachment, fear, and anger, is called a state of steady mind. In the material world, one who is not thinking about whatever good or evil he may obtain, neither praising nor despising it is firmly fixed in perfect knowledge. One who is able to draw his senses from sense objects as the conscious draws the terms of inner is firmly fixed in perfect cognizance. The embodied soul never veers from sense employment, though the taste for sense objects remains. But ceasing such engagements by experiencing a higher taste, he is fixed in consciousness. These senses are so strong and impetuous, though Arjuna, that they forcibly carry away the mind even of a man of discrimination who is endeavoring to control them. One who restrains the senses, keeping them under full control and fixes consciousness upon me, is known as a man of steady intelligence. While contemplating the objects of the senses, a person develops attachments for them, and from such attachment lust develops, and from lust anger arises. From anger, complete delusion arises, and from delusion bewilderment to memory. And memory is bewildered, intelligence is lost, and intelligence is lost and falls down, beginning into the material pool. When a person free from all attachment to aversion and able to control the senses through reading the principles of freedom, and obtain complete mercy of the Lord, for one thus satisfied in Krishna consciousness, the threefold miseries of material existence is no longer in such satisfied consciousness. One who is not connected with the Supreme in Krishna consciousness can have neither transcendental intelligence nor steady mind, without which one is no possibility of peace, and how can there be a happiness without peace? As a boat on the water is swept away by a strong wind, even when the roaming senses on which a mind focuses can carry away man's intelligence, therefore, O mighty armed one whose senses are restrained from their objects is certainty of steady intelligence. What is night for all beings is the time of awakening for self-control. The time of waiting for all beings is night for the introspective stage. A person who is not disturbed by the incessant flow of desires that enter like rivers into the ocean, which is ever being filled but is always still, can alone achieve peace, and not the man who tries to satisfy such desires. A person who has given up all desires for sense gratification, who lives free from desires, who has given up all sense of proprietorship, and is devoid of false ego, he alone can attain real peace. That is the way of the spiritual and godly life. After attaining such a man is not bewildered, that one is thus situated, even at the hour of death, one can enter into the kingdom of God. Chapter 3. Arjuna said, O Janardana, O Kesava, why do you want to engage me in this ghastly warfare? Do you think that intelligence is better than primitive work? My intelligence is bewildered by your equal instructions. Therefore, please tell me decisively which will be most beneficial for me. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O sinless Arjuna, I have already explained that there are two classes of men who try to realize the self. Some are inclined to understand it by empirical philosophical speculation, and others by devotional service. Not by merely abstaining from work can one achieve freedom from reaction, or by renunciation alone can one attain perfection. Everyone is forced to act helplessly according to the qualities he is acquired from the modes of material nature. Therefore, no one can refrain from doing something else even for a moment. One who restrains the sense of action, but whose mind dwells on the sense of objects, certainly deludes himself is called a pretender. One, on the other hand, is a sincere person who tries to control the active senses of the mind and begins karma yoga and Krishna consciousness without attachment. He is by far superior. Perform a prescribed duty, for doing so is better than not working. One cannot even maintain one's physical body without work. Work done as sacrifice for Vishnu has to be performed. Otherwise, work causes bondage in the material world. Therefore, O son of Kunti, perform your prescribed duties for his satisfaction in the way that you will always remain free from bondage. In the beginning of creation, the Lord of all creatures sent forth generations of men and demigods along with sacrifices for Vishnu in less than by sin. Be thou happy by the Vyajna sacrifice, because its performance will so find everything desirable, the living happily in achieving moderation. The demigods being pleased on sacrifices will always please you, and thus like moderation between men and demigods prosperity will reign for all. In charge of the various necessities of life, the demigods being satisfied by the performance of Yajna sacrifice will supply all necessities to you. But he who enjoys such a gift without offering them to the demigods is returned with certain way of faith. The devotees of the Lord are released from all kinds of sins because they eat food, which is offered first for sacrifice. Others who prepare food for personal sense enjoyment, verily each only sin. All living bodies subsist on food grains, which are produced from rains. Rains are produced by performance of Yajna sacrifice, and Yajna is one of prescribed duties. Regulated activities are prescribed in the Vedas, and the Vedas are directly manifested from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Consequently, the all-pervading transcendence is eternally situated in the acts of sacrifice. My dear Arjuna, One who does not follow in human life the cycle of sacrifice and establish by the visions certainly leads a life full of sin, living only for the satisfaction of the sense that such a person lives in vain. But for one who takes pleasure in the self, whose human life is one of self-realization, and who is satisfied in the self-only fully situated, for him there is no duty. A self-realized man has no purpose to fulfill the discharge of his prescribed duties, nor has he any reason not to perform such work, nor has he any need to depend on another living being. Therefore, having attached to the fruits of activities, one should act as a matter of duty, for by working without attachment like kings of supreme. Kings such as BHAGAVAD attain perfection solely by performance of prescribed duties. Therefore, just for the sake of educating people and generally perform your work. Whatever action that great man performs, common men follow, and whatever standards he sets by exemplary acts, all the world pursues. The son of Earth, there is no work to strive from me, but in all three planetary systems, nor am I in want of anything, nor have I need to obtain anything, yet I am engaged in prescribed duties. For if I ever fail to engage in carefully performing prescribed duties, O Partha, certainly all men would follow my path. If I did not perform prescribed duties, all these worlds would be put to ruination. I would be the cause of creating an unwanted population, and I would thereby destroy the peace of all living beings. As the mere perform their duties, attachment to the results, the learned may similarly be had, but without attachment, for sake of the leading people on the right path, so as not to disrupt the minds of ignorant men, attached to the fruitive results of prescribed duties. A learned person should not induce them to stop work. Rather, by working in the spirit of devotion, he should engage them in all sorts of activities for the grateful development of Krishna consciousness. The spirit soul polluted by the influence of false ego thinks himself the doer of activities that are in actuality carried out by the three modes of material nature. One who has knowledge of absolute truth, though mighty arm, does not engage himself in the senses and sense gratification, knowing well the differences between work and devotion and for the fruitive results. Be ordered by the modes of material nature, that ignorant folly engage themselves in material activities and become attached, that the wise should not unsettle them, although these duties are inferior to the performer's lack of knowledge. Therefore, O Arjuna, surrendering all your works unto me with full knowledge and me without desires for profit, with no thanks to proprietorship, and free from authority behind. Those persons who execute their duties according to my injunctions and who follow these teachings faithfully without envy become free from bondage of fruitive actions. But those who act in envy disregard these teachings and do not follow them are to be considered no of all knowledge, be fooled and ruined, and have no for perfection. Every man of knowledge acts according to his own nature, for everyone follows the nature he has acquired from free knowledge with correct impression accomplished. But there are principles of regulated attachment and aversion pertaining to the senses and their objects, which do not come under the control of such attachment and aversion because of their stumbling blocks in the path of self-realization. It's as far better to discharge all persons' prescribed duties, even though faulty, than other duties perpetually. The instruction in the course of performing one's own duties or doing engaging in other duties, or doing others' path is dangerous. Arjuna said, "O sense of person, by what is one impelled to sinful acts, even unwillingly, as if induced by force?" The Supreme Personality of God had said, "It is lust only, Arjuna, which is one of contact with material motor passion and later transformed into wrath, and which result of having sin by me of this world. As fire is covered by smoke, as a mirror is covered by dust, or as the embryo is covered by the womb, the living entity is similarly covered by different degrees of his lust. The dust of a wise living entity's pure consciousness becomes covered by his eternal enemy in the form of lust, which is never satisfied and which burns like fire. The senses, the mind, and intelligence are the sitting places of its lust. Through them, lust covers the real knowledge of the living entity and bewilders him. Therefore, O Arjuna, this is the this is the very beginning through this very symbol of sin lust, by regulating the senses and study this destroyer of knowledge and self-realization. The working senses are superior to the dull man's mind is higher than the senses, intelligence is still higher than the mind, and he, the soul, is even higher than intelligence. Thus, no one stuff to be transcendental to the material senses, mind, and intelligence, or mighty arm, or no one should steadily eat the mind by liberating spiritual intelligence, Krishna consciousness, and thus by spiritual strength, comfort, and unspeakable enemy known as lust. I instructed this impenetrable time to be over to the sun god, Bhuvasalam, and Bhuvasalam instructed to Manu, the father of mankind, and Manu, in turn, instructed it to the Ikshavaku. The supreme science was thus received through the chain of his succession, and the same three kings understood it in that way, but in course of time the succession was broken, and therefore the science as it appears to be lost. The very ancient science of the military was supremely faithful by me, this for my devotee, as well as my friend, and therefore understand the transcendental mystery of this science. Arjuna said, the sun god of Salam, and the senior by birth to you, how am I, understand that became you, instructed this science, said him. The personality of God had said, many, many births, both you and I have passed. I can remember all of them, but you cannot, both superior of enemy. Although I am unborn, my transcendental body never deteriorates, and although I am Lord of all living entities, I still appear in every millennium in my original transcendental form. Whenever and wherever there is a decline in religious practice, no descendant of the Bharata, and the predominant rise of your religion, all that time I descend myself. To deliver the pious and to annihilate the miscreants, as well as to re-establish the principles of religion, I myself appear at millennium after millennium.
I predict the win!
One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities is not upon living body and senses rooted in and superior world, but attains my eternal mode of Arjuna. Many persons in the past became purified by knowledge of me, and thus they all obtained independent love for me.
Taking off!
The son of Krishna. Men in this world desire success in creative activities, and therefore they worship the demigods. People force men to results from fruits of work in this world, according to freedoms of material nature, and the associated with prohibitions of human society are created by me, and all that I am created for this system, you know that I am a non-doer, being unchangeable. There is no work that affects me, nor do I aspire for the fruits of action. One who understands this truth about me also does not become entangled in the fruitive reactions of work. All the religious souls in the ancient times acted with this understanding of my transcendental nature, if they keep the will duty following in their footsteps. Even their intelligence are bewildered and determining where to act, what is an action. Now I shall explain to you what action is, knowing which you shall be liberated from all suffering. The intrinsic message of action are very hard to understand. Therefore, one should know properly what action is, what forbidden action is, and what action is. One who sees an action in action, and action is important for that, and he is one who is interested in the knowledge of the method to the word of God, to take application, he is set up to be able to do the action of the this working is not affected by simple reactions. Usually satisfied with pain, which comes up to a point whose free from malady and desire to be good setting, versus setting values never into the performing actions, the man whose attention goes to the nature, and whose focus is in transcendental knowledge works entirely in transcendence. A person whose knowledge of the personal consciousness of the sheer and simple human, because of the scope of the
These jokers off my point.
Stopping overeating, others for healing process, often having death, into self, as sacrifice. Also knowing the side effects of plans, simple reactions of having faced the nectar, of results of satisfaction, no atmosphere, no rest of the pure nasty, without sacrifice, one can never live happily on this planet, or in this life, what then after next? All these things have to sacrifice are approved by the Veda, this all on our own, after the physical time, then I expect to do become living with behind the ground, after going for knowledge, after
Now show them. Healing stream engaged.
Having the same knowledge of self-realized soul, you will never fall into self-belief. So acknowledge you as the only being the part of supreme. In other words, if they are mind. Even if you are considered to be the most simple sinners, you must consider them and the simple man who is dedicated to transcendental knowledge, and is surprised the senses and eligible to achieve such knowledge, having achieved it, he clearly attains this spiritual peace. But ignorant and faithless persons who have no revealed scriptures, do not attain God consciousness, they fall down. For the dancing soul is happiness, also the soul of next. One who has the message of his actions, that he has no sort of knowledge, is really thankful to himself, as he is not down on the actions of the emperor of riches, this is not to the reason consequence to the sacrifice of knowledge, out of yoga of the Harada standing fights.
다시 완벽하게 작동한다.
Speak of the book service kind yoga, and from now the post of the material world santa, that are actually willing to say that those devices are what we call if not engaging in the vocal service, the board not everyone happy, but the person engaged with vocal service country to prove that not aware. One who works in the result, they're always working something on the a person who he always knows that only circumstances are niche, their objects that he's aloof from them. One who performs his duty by attachments or any result of the Supreme Lord is not affected by simple passion as the lotus leaf is untouched by water. The yogas of abandoning attachment act like with the body, mind, intelligence, and even the senses of purification. The study of those intelligence and those peace is all the others that won't be free, whereas the free is being devout, is free from peace and suffering to be contained. Since the body is being constantly by everyone else's action, he is not mentally able to see it among the pure body. We are working on possible to be known. Notice he induced people to act. Notice he created fruits of action. All this is enacted on modes of material nature. Notice the Supreme Lord assumed anyone single of highest activities and body beings, however, because of weakness, which others have real knowledge. When however wise and mindful of knowledge on his own, his joy, and his body reveals everything, and his knowledge when one will 23 names I established the sentence and conditions were met. They are all some water, and thus they are already situated in water. Before doing that present body, once they were forward, senses and chemicals of desire and anger, these legislations those who are free from anger and material desires, who are self-realized, self-disciplined, and constantly never in perfection are attuned to liberation, the supreme and very future. Starting out as all eternal sense objects, keeping the eyes and vision concentrated between the two eyebrows, and suspending the entering after that's with nostrils controlling the nine senses and intelligence. The transcendentalist aiming at liberation becomes free from desire, fear, and anger. One who is always in the state is frequently liberated. A person is full of consciousness of need, knowing to be the ultimate beneficiary of all sacrifice and austerities, the supreme lord of all planets and demigods, the benefactor and well-wisher of all living entities that means peace and thanks and fear visities.
Traveling to Molskaya Industries.
Chapter 6, BHAGAVAD GITA. Zoroastria's vows of God had said, one who attaches the fruits of his work and who works as he is obligated is in the renounced order of life, and he is a true mystic, not chief who hides no fire, forms no duty. One is for renunciation, which knows that he the same as yoga or looking oneself, so great no son can do. For one can never become a yogi unless he renounces the desire for sense gratification. For one who is anesthetized in the hateful yoga system who is said to be the means, and for one who is already elevated in yoga cessation of all material activities is said to be the means. A person is said to be elevated in yoga when having renounced all material desires, he never acts for sense gratification or engages in spiritual activities. One must liberate himself with the help of his mind and not to liberate himself. The mind is the kind of ignition soul, as enemy is found. For him who has conquered the mind is the best offense. But for one who has failed to do so, his mind will remain the greatest enemy. For one who has conquered the mind, the super soul is already reached, for he has attained tranquility. The set of man, happiness, and stress, peace, and flow, honor, and dishonor are all the same. A person is said to be established in self-realization, and is called a yogi or mystic when he is fully satisfied by virtue or acquired knowledge and realization. Such a person is situated in transcendence and self-control. He sees everything, whether it be pebbles, stones, or gold, as the same. A person is considered still further advanced when he regards honest well-wishers, affectionate benefactors, the neutral mediators, the envious friends and enemies, and the pious and sinners, all with equal mind. The transcendentalist should always engage his body, mind, and self in relationship with the Supreme. He should live alone in secluded place, and should always carefully control his mind. He should be free from desires and feelings of possessiveness. To practice yoga, one should go to a secluded place and should lay coops of grass on the ground and cover it with the deerskin and sackcloth. The seat should be neither too high nor too low and should be situated in a sacred place. The yoga should then sit on it very firmly and practice yoga, so that purify the heart by controlling his mind, senses, and activities, and fixing the mind on 9 points. One should hold one's body, noting head erect in straight line, and stare steadily at the nose. One has to be subdued mind, devoid of fear, completely free from sex life. One should meditate upon me within the heart and make me the ultimate goal in life. Thus, practicing constant control of the body-mind activities, the mystic transcendentalist is mind regulated and whether the Buddha is not. By cessation of material existence, there is no possibility of one's becoming a yogi or Arjuna, but one eats too much, drinks too little, sleeps too much, or does not sleep enough. He who is regulated in his habits of eating, sleep, and recreation work and mitigates all material pains by practicing the yoga system. The yogi, by practicing the yoga, desires his mental activities and becomes situated in transcendence that void of all material desires. He is said to be left established in yoga. As a lamp in the wilderness place does not waver, so transcendentalist, whose mind is controlled, remains always sane on the transcendent self. In the state of liberation and concept samadhi, one mind is completely restrained from material mental activities by practicing yoga. Also, see the self-actualized, the voice of the self, and the joyous state, once it was to manage and beautiful happiness, realized through transcendental senses, established us when it departs from the truth, upon gaining the sequence phase by great pain, and situated in a position one is never taken with the greatest difficulty, there is indeed an actual freedom of one who is in continual contact. Force and engagement of yoga, information, not beginning to be compatible, for them is not accept that it is not speculation of all senses on all sides by the mind. Gradually, step by step, one becomes situated in text by means of on the self alone is situated in the rest. As the mind is very not stagnation, almost a double the yogi whose mind is fixed on me, clearly attains the highest perfection and mental happiness. He is the unlimited path and realizes his qualities by the supreme, and thus he is free from all reactions to past deeds. Thus the self-control has engaged in yoga practice, becomes and happiness and transcendental loving service of the Lord. A true yogi is you and all beings and also sees everything in me, and neither self-confidence sees me the same, supreme Lord everywhere.
Commence attack on
For one who sees me everywhere and sees everything in me, I am the cross, who is happy at the cross of me. Such activity with the all service receives all now that I answers all one remains always in me is all circumstances. He is a perfect yogi, who by comparison to his own self, sees the true quality of all things and other happiness and distress of Arjuna, Arjuna said in my heart son on the system of yoga which we have exercised, he is in fact one political committee, for the mind is restless and unsteady. The mind is restless, restless, and he is now like the and his spirits I think political and control alone. One secret perspective said to my arms and authority, it is unnaturally good, not the proper one to Arguments that open up places between the unsuccessful fundamentals is the main face of the process. The civilization will create a solution to the working man and survival. It's not a pain for the season. The money on this process. And then we will do all the inputs. Successors have a written plan. No position to the street. They want to keep on the section of practically transcendentalist engaged in auspicious activities does not be of distracting here and this understood my plan is never overcome by anymore. The access is one of the afternoon leaders and learning on plans of the pieces of land or into a family of rich aristocracy, or if unsuccessful after a long practice of yoga, he takes his birth into a family of transcendentalists who are truly great in wisdom, sitting into the birth is greater and most activities of the lives of the lives. He has been the highest and the truth of the world of the success of personal privilege. By virtue of the is like and when you go engages in stuff with sincere endeavor to making clear progress and watch the world compromises and the ultimate issue of perfection after many you don't be a character in that aspect, you make an empiricist and greater than a primitive worker, with therefore in argument and all circumstances to be and all yogi is the one with great faith, who is that and he thinks of you within himself and very transcendental loving service, and he is the most intimately united with me in yoga, and it's nice with all that is my opinion. Chapter 7. Knowledge of Absolute. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, Mahiro Sama Prithra, how by practicing the yoga equal consciousness of me, with mind attached to me, you can know me and fall free from that. I shall now declare unto you and fall this knowledge both phenomenal and numinous. This being known, nothing further shall remain for you to know. Counts of many thousands among men, one may matter for perfection among those who have achieved perfection, hardly one knows me with truth. Earth, water, fire, air, their mind and potency and falsehood, altogether these eight constitute my separate material energies. Besides these, a mighty armed Arjuna, there is another sphere of energy of mind, which comprises the living entities who are exploiting the resources of this material and inferior nature. All created beings have their source in these two natures, but that is material and all that is spiritual in this world. Know for certain that I am both the origin and the solution. O conqueror of wealth, there is no truth superior to me. Everything rests upon me, as pearls are shine on a throne. There's so much beauty, I am the face of water, the light of the sun and the moon. This little and the native mantras, I am the sound and the ability in man. I am the original fragrance of the earth, and I am the fusion fire. I am the life of all that lives, and I am the penance of all aesthetics. O son of Prithra, know that I am the real seed of all existences, the intelligence of the intelligence, and the powers of all powerful men. I am the strength of strong, the Lord of passion and desire. I am sexual activity, not contrary to religious principles, so the Lord of other contents of my human. Not only has space of divinity, they are humus, passion, or ignorance, I'm not blessed by my energy. I am in one sense everything, I am independence. I will not only know to do with the wrong contrary other than me, but lifted by the three modes of passion and ignorance, the whole world does not know me, who am above the modes and impossible. This divine energy of mind consisting of three modes of nature, is the whole world but it is absolutely unique because of the rest of God. There is this fluency of those people who are most alone and God is all the soul and illusion of the place as ideas that their actions do not surrender to heaven. These are not just knowledge and who's always engaged in critical services is best, but I'm very useful and he is deep made. Both of those magnanimous souls so that he who is dissociated knowledge of me I consider to be just like my own self, being engaged in my transcendental service. He is here to attain to be a person of critical value. And yes, is absolute knowledge and every reason to me, no need to be responsible process in all of this is to resolve very well. Those his intelligence is installed on the city of values, so they don't care about becoming a particular leader and the I am back as a superstar. As soon as I was under solution of something like that, I made a straight stage so I could do something like that. And that was a fake, who made a small particular like that. I can't see desire, and I can't do these actions that are served by me alone. Never saw them show this work with my gods, and the fruits are always contemporary. There is the worship of my gods, there is the clients of my gods, and my hope is ultimately reached my supreme planet. Ultimately, is meant to be not only a person to think that I have supreme personality of God, and person personal, but for my own personality, to control how to be my own person of supreme. I am the I am covered by my internal frequencies, and therefore they do not know that I am one of the powers. But I do not have all the things in the past, all that is happening in the present, and all things that are occurring. I also know all the things that you know and others. Those are the Koraka, the conqueror of the foe. All the entities are going to the region, people are desire. Persons who have to visualize and describe these interactions are completely eradicated, free from the dualities of believing and engaging in our service of determination. Intelligent persons who are enabling for liberation from all agents that take refuge in me in devotional service, they're actually Brahmin, because they entirely know everything about transcendental activities. Those in full consciousness of me, who are moved to be more ego and multiple meditation on what else, and understanding their needs and response to God to be on time of that.
Quadruple kill.
Evidence suggests pardon me.
Team kill.
Chapter 8. Retaining the Spring. I do not inquire that, oh my lord, the supreme person, what is wrong? What is the self? Well, the activities, what is the material manifestation, and what are the demigods? Who's exploring the city? Who is the Lord of Sacrifice, and how does he live in the body of the and how can those engaged in critical service have one time effect? The supreme personality of the Godhead said, the inseparable transcendental living entity is called Brahman, and the eternal nature is called Atlas-Atman, the self. Actually pertaining to the development of the material bodies of living entities is called Prana, or co-agented activities. Best of the embodied beings of physical nature is constantly changing the form. Every attack, the material manifestation, the universal form of the world, which includes all the demigods, like those of the sun and the moon, it is called Atlas-Atman, and I, the supreme Lord, represented as a super soul in the heart of every embodied being, temple, Atlas-Atman, the Lord of Sacrifice. And the limit at the end of his life puts his body remembering me alone, that was against my nature, but this is more whatever state of being or remembers when he puts his body over some Pinky, that state he will attain without fail. Therefore, are you not each of these think of me in the form of Krishna, at the same time, very Krishna due to the fighting, the direction, these thinking and all intelligences, fixed on me, you attain me without doubt. He who meditates on me as his supreme personality of Godhead, his mind constantly engaged in remembering me, comes either from the path he O Partha, will sure to teach me. One should meditate on the supreme person as the one who knows everything as he, who is the oldest, who is the controller, who is smaller, who is who is beyond all material himself, who is invisible, and who is this person, who is luminous like the sun, who is transcendental and enormous material nature. The one at his time of death, this is the one who is all around him on the yoga, the creating man who leads himself to one of these things all those who will certainly think this is not like that. This is the one who is the other from the Father, that you are always especially the next orders and all. I'm
on fire.
The yogic situation is that the attachment from all sensual engagements, closing all the doors of the senses and fixing the mind on the heart and the mind and the head, and the after being situated in the yoga practice and operating the focus of the hand, is a pure combination of learnings, the one who is the philosophy of and physical, he was able to reach the planets. For what members need without deviation, I need to get some of because of this constant engagement in the service. After attaining me, the very souls who are living in the very never return to this very world, which is how it is, because they are in the whole action. From the highest planets in the very world of the all our places are going to be wearing a beautiful person that they fight. The one who thinks of myself myself thinking everything start again. By human evaluation of past ages, together one information of almost one day, and so much to the person of others now. After the old balance of all the reactions and one manifest from the manifestation of others, when the night falls, and mercy from the manifestation, again and again, around the around all the make these kinds of things, and come back and traumatized, they are purposely annihilated. Yes, everything around manifest nature is eternal, and it's been meant for the manifest matter. It is supreme and annihilated, and all the world is annihilated, and that part remains as it is. That is the essence of described as a manifest and infallible, and the universe of goodness nature. That person which I will keep it when it returns as my supreme brother. The supreme personality of life is the love, is the religion, and for his presence is a better people operating in everything situated with him. Oh, that's everyone else. I shall now explain to you the different times of passing away from this world. The yogi does this path on that. Those who know the supreme Brahman, that's in the supreme, are passing away from the world of time and God. And also this moment of pain. During the 6 months of self-practice, the typically passes away from the world. So, the night and fortnight of the waning moon was 6 months. When the sun passes and stuff, because the moon planets, but the end comes back. There are 2 ways of passing from this world. One in light and one in darkness. One passes in light, he passes in light, and one passes in darkness, he returns. But these they are never delivered. First of all, you raise space in devotion. A person who accepts a path of devotional service is not direct, but the results are right and depending on what it is. One of the household sacrifices, giving care to the student plus not about with activities. Simply by performing devotional service, he knows all these, but knows the reasons of being from off road. There's a true personality of God, said how he learns from the never envies me. I shall not use such mental knowledge and realization knowing you live, relieve under the miseries of material existence. This knowledge is a tool of education. The most secret of all secrets is the purest knowledge, as it gives that advanced perception of the self by realization. It is the perfection of religion. It is everlasting and it is joyfully performed.
Play of the game.
Those who are not faithful in devotional service cannot attain me who conquer enemies. Therefore they return to the path of earth on that and security. By me and all manifested forms and times of inspiration, all things are me, that I am not man. And everything is great with blessing me, the whole honest and populace, the relying and maintainer of all identities, and all that I am everywhere, I am not part of the manifestation for myself is the very source of creation. Understand that as the mighty wind blowing everywhere west, and in the sky, all 3 beings are resting in me.
It's
At
over.
the end of the millennium, all material manifestations in terms of my nature. At the beginning of the millennium, my potency after it comes in. The whole cosmic order is under me. Under my will, it is automatically manifested again and again. Under my will is annihilated at the end. BHAGAVAD GITA. All this work cannot bind me. I am ever detached from all material activities, seated as the neutral. This material nature, which is one of my energies, is working under my direction of self-will, producing all moving and non-moving beings, and their rules manifestations create and I am being again. Tools derive me as in human form. They unite my transcendental nature as supreme lawful I be. Those who are thus be ordered and attracted by demonic and ancestral views in these deluded conditions are hopes for liberation or previous activities and the culture of knowledge are all pleasing. Those who are not delusioned with great souls under protection of divine nature, they are wholly engaged in devotional service because they know me as the supreme personality of Godhead and original and inexhaustible. Others changing my beliefs and having with determination bowing down before me, these great souls perpetually worship me with devotion. Others may be concerned with my cultivation of knowledge, which was supreme Lord as one, but at a second that the diverse in me and the universal flow. That is I am the ritual and the sacrificial offering to ancestors, the transcendental triarchant. I am the butter and the fire and the offering. I am the father of the universe, the mother, the support and grandsire. I am the object of knowledge, the purifier and the syllable of all. I am also the Rik and the Saba and the Ujar, that is. I am the goal, the sustainer, the master, the witness, the beloved, the refugee, and the most dear friend. I am the creation and the annihilation, the basis of everything, resting placement and sleep. I will Arjuna, I defeat, and I withhold and send forth the rain. I am immortality, and I will death, personified, to excuse and I me. Those who study the Vedas and drink the sun of you, seeking the heavenly planets, worship me, and I reckon pure simple reactions they take birth from the highest heavenly planets of Indra, where they enjoy godly delights. When they thus enjoy past time which has pleasure, and the result of their past activities are exhausted and return to local once again, thus those who seek sense enjoyment by adherent defenses of 3 days of sleep, when they repeated birth and death, those who always worship me, exclusive devotion, meditating on my transcendental form to them, they fail their life, and preserve what they have. Those who would believe so after God, who worship them, and they actually worship only me, except me, but they do so in a wrong way. I am the only enjoyer and master of all sacrifices, therefore those who acknowledge my true transcendental nature fall down. Those who worship the demigods will take birth among the demigods. Those who worship ancestors will take ancestors. Those who worship ghosts and spirits will take birth among such beings, and those who worship me will live with me. If only one offers me with love and devotion, I'll leave a flower, a fruit, or water, I will accept it. Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer or give away, and whatever austerities you perform, do that, O son of Kati, as an offering to me. In this way, you'll be free from the bodies of broken auspicious and the auspicious results with your mind fixed on me and personal renunciation. You'll be liberated and come to me. I am benevolent, though I am not partial to anyone. I am equal with all, but whoever renders service unto me in devotion is a friend, is in me, and I am also a friend to him. Even if one commits the most abominable action, if he is engaged in devotional service, he is to be considered saintly because he is properly situated in his determination. He quickly becomes righteous, attains lasting peace with sons of Kunti, declared boldly that my devotee never perishes. The son of Prithra, those who take shelter in me, though they be of lower birth women, the Hayatas, merchants and suitors, workers, attain the supreme destination. What is this to the righteous as the devotees and saintly kings, therefore having come to this temporary visible world, engage in loving service unto me. Engage in my devotees and thinking of me, become my devotee, offer obeisances to me, and worship me, being completely absorbed in me, surely you will come to me. Chapter 10, the opulence of the absolute. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, listen again, O mighty Arjuna, because you are my dear friend, for your benefit I shall speak to you further, giving knowledge that is better than what I have already explained. Neither the hosts of demigods nor the great sages know my original opulences, for, in every respect, I am the source of the demigods and sages. He who knows me as the unborn, as the beginningless, as the supreme Lord of all the worlds, he only, undiluted among men, is free from all sins. Intelligence and knowledge freedom from doubt and delusion, forgiveness, truthfulness, control of the senses, control of the mind, happiness and stress, birth, death, fear, fearlessness, non-violence, equanimity, satisfaction, austerity, charity, fame, and infamy. All these various qualities of living beings are created by me alone. The 7 great sages, before them the 4 other great sages, and the Manus, the progenitors of mankind, come from me, born from my mind, and all the living beings populating with various planets extend from them. One who is actually convinced of opulence and mystic power of engages in unalloyed devotional service. Of this there is no doubt. I am the source of all spiritual material worlds. Everything emanates from me. The wise who perfect, they know that engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. The thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. Their lives are fully devoted to my service, and they derive great satisfaction and bliss from always enlightening one another and conversing about me. To those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give understanding by which they can come to me, to show them special mercy. I dwelling in their hearts to destroy the shining light of knowledge without influence. Arjuna said, you are the supreme personality of Godhead, the ultimate abode, the fierce and absolute truth. You are the eternal transcendental original person, unborn, the great, the soul, the great sages, such as Narada, Asita, Dapala, and the Hayasasa. They confirm this truth about you, and you now know you yourself are declaring it to me. O Krishna, I totally accept this truth, all that you have told me. Neither the demigods nor the demons of which understand your personality. Indeed, you alone know yourself by your own internal potency, the supreme person, origin of all, Lord of all beings, God of gods, Lord of the universe. Please tell me in detail your divine opulences by which you pervade all these words. O Krishna, O Supreme Mystic, how shall I constantly think of you, and how shall I know you, and what various forms are you to be remembered, O Supreme Personality of Godhead? O Janadharana, again, please describe in detail the mystic power of your opulences. I never cease it, and hearing about you, for the more I hear, the more I want to taste the nectar of your words. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, yes, I will tell you my splendorous manifestations, but only those that follow me so over God, for my opulence is limitless. I am the super soul of Arjuna. I seated in the hearts of all living entities. I am the beginning, the middle, and end of all beings. of the BHAGAVAD I am the Vishnu, of the lights, I am the radiant sun of the monarchs, I am the Rishi, and among the stars I am the moon, of the Vedas I am the son of Gita, of the demigods I am Indra, the king of heaven, of the senses I am the mind, of the living beings I am the living force consciousness, of all the Rudras I am the Lord Shiva, of the Yaksas and of Rakasayasas, I am the Lord of Love, Kuvera, of the Vaistas I am the fire, Agni, and of the mountains I am the root. O priest, O Arjuna, know me to be the chief, or Atati, of generals I am Paraskaya, and the bodies of water, I am the ocean, of the great stages I am Rudu, of vibrations I am transcendental home, of sacrifices I am the chanting of the holy name Japa, and of immovable things I am the Himalayas. Of all trees I am the banyan tree, and the sages among them I am Narada, of the Gandharvas I am Surakarta, and among perfected beings I am sage Kapila. Of horses know me to be Vikahara produce hearing the churning of the ocean from the clear morning elements, I am Aravata, and among men I am a monarch. Of weapons I am the thunderbolts, among cows I am the Faranagi, of causes of procreation I am Panaparapa, the god of love, and of the serpents I am Vasuki. Of the many hooded Nagas I am Radha, and among the Aquates I am Dharana. Of the departed ancestors I am Arimama, and among the dispensers of love I am Yama, the Lord of Death. Among the Degath demons I am the devoted Harahalana, among the subduers I am Tam, among beasts I am the lion, among birds I am the Radha. Of purifiers I am the wind of the wielders of the weapons I am Rama, of the fishes I am the charging of flowing rivers I am the Ganges. Of all creation I am the beginning, the end, and also the middle of Aruna. Of all sciences I am the spiritual science of the self, and among the logicians I am the conclusive truth. Of letters I am the letter A, and among the compound words I am the dual compound. I am also inexhaustible time, creators I am a Brahma. I am all that and that, I am the generating principle of adversity. Among women I am fame, fortune, fine speech, memory, intelligence, steadfastness, and patience. Of the hymns in the Sama Veda I am the Rahat Sama, and of poetry I am the Gayatri. Of months I am Agrisarayatsa, November, December, and of seasons I am flower during spring. I am also the gambling of chiefs and the splendid of the splendor. I am victory, I am adventure, I am the strength of the strong, of the sins of Krishna, I am Bahasa Hadaviva, and the Pandavas, I am Arjuna, of the sages I am the Karapasa, and among great thinkers I am Yusana. Among all things express of lawlessness I am punishment, and of all those who seek to out immorality. Of secret things I am silence, and of the wise I am the wisdom. Furthermore, O Arjuna, I am the generating seed of all existences. There is no being moving, and non-moving that exists without me. Though I be conqueror of enemies, there is no end to my divine manifestations. When I have spoken to you, but your indication of my infinite opulences. Know that all opulent, beautiful, and glorious creation spring, but not start with my splendor. But what need is that Arjuna for all these detailed knowledge, for the single fragment of myself I pervade and support the entire universe. Chapter 11, the universal form. Arjuna said, by my hearing the instructions you have kindly given me about the most confidential spiritual subjects, my illusion has now been dispelled. O Lotus, I won. I have heard from you in detail about the appearance and disappearance of every living entity, and have realized your inexhaustible glories, your invisible personalities, O supreme form. Though I see you here before me in your actual position as you have described yourself, I wish to see how you have entered into this cosmic manifestation. I want to see that form of yours. If you think that I am able to behold your cosmic form, O my Lord, O Master of all mystic power, then kindly show me that unknown universal self. The supreme personality of Godhead said, my dear Arjuna, the son of Raja, see now my opulences, hundreds of thousands of very divine and multicolored forms. O best of the Rajas, see here the manifestations of the Adhyasas, Rasas, Rudras, Asavani, Kumarayas, and all other demigods. So open the wonderful things which no one has ever seen or heard of before. O Arjuna, whatever you wish to see before and once in the body of mind, this universal form can show you whatever you now desire to see, and whatever you want to see in the future, everything moving and non-moving is here completely in one place. But you cannot see me with your present eyes, therefore I give you divine eyes, behold my mystic opulence. Sahayaya said, O king, having spoken thus the supreme Lord of all mystic power, the personality of the Godhead displayed his universal form to Arjuna. Arjuna saw in the universal form, unlimited mouths, unlimited eyes, unlimited wondrous visions. The form was then created of many celestial ornaments, and bore many divine appraised weapons. He wore celestial garlands and garments, and divine scents were smeared over his body. All was one dross, billions, unlimited, all expanding. Yet hundreds of thousands of suns which rise at once into the sky. Their radiance light resembled the of the supreme person in that universal form. At that time, Arjuna could see in the universal form the Lord of the unlimited expansions of the universe situated in one place, although divided into many, many thousands. Then bewildered and astonished, his hair standing on end, Arjuna bowed his head to offer obeisances with folded hands, began to pray to the Supreme Lord. Arjuna said, my dear Lord Krishna, I am assembled in your body, all the demigods and various living entities. I see Brahma sitting on the lotus flower, as well as the Lord sitting on all cities and divine serpents. The Lord, the universal form, I see in your body, man, and your arms, mouths, and eyes, and can't go without limit. I see in your land, no beginning. Your form is that will see because of its glaring ineffable
Zombie killer.
All sides like blazing fire, the miserable radiance of the sun, and I see the glowing form everywhere, everyone with various crowns, cups, and discs. You are the supreme primal afflicted. You are the ultimate resting place of all the universe. You are invincible, and you are the oldest. You are the maintainer of the eternal religion, the personality of Godhead. This is my opinion. You are without origin, middle, or end. Your glory is until you have numerous arms, the sun is in my eyes. I see you blazing with fire, coming forth from your mouth, burning this entire universe by your own radiance. Although you are one, you spread at the sky, the planets, and also you know very much. Seeing so rich and careful form, all the planetary systems are preserved. All of this is I just surrender before you, entering in you. Some of them are very much afraid of offering prayers before your hands. So it's basically the things kind, all things, sometimes you by seeing the various things, all the various manifestations of what's said in the Adhyasas, and the Vasas, not Sahadyas, and the Vistas, and the Devas, and the Skasas, and the Malas, and the forefathers, and the Gandharvas, and the Yaksas, and the Asuras, and the perfected demigods of a holy and wonder. Whom I behind one with all the planets of your demigods are disturbed and seeing your great form, with many faces, eyes, arms, legs, and bellies, and many terrible teeth, and they are disturbed so high. Your
safety is your primary
now is my eyes heard about you. I can no longer maintain my status with glittering of mind. O words, the refuge of words, be gracious to me. I cannot keep my balance the same by certain blazing death on faces and awful teeth, and all actions time bewildered. All the sons of high after Allah the family kings and the witness my drawn their karma, and our chiefs wondered all my running into your people mouths. I and some I see hand of heads smashed between your teeth. As many days of the rivers swing, I see all people watching Wall Street, into your mouse, as mobs dodge, dash, discretion of police and fire, every one I see that more people on more sides,
Attack commences in 30 seconds. The multiple shots of survival. Stay in range of my barricade.
you are crying, Lord. I want to know about you. The screen personality about it says, I am the great destroyer of the world, and I come to destroy all people. With the second of you ahead of us, all the soldiers here on this side will be slain. Therefore, prepare the points of glory, conquer enemies and avoid hotel demon, and already visit that my arrangements. But Sunday last week, and be the other instruments and times, German is not, and rest. Find out another great warriors have already made by me, therefore, put them, do not be ashamed. Simply times, and you will for enemies and power. Sometimes I have, the demons are afraid. They flee here and there. All this is rightly done. No great and great demon, you have original prayer. Why then should they not offer their respectful? Since you go into this one, God of balance, record believers, you with invisible source of possible causes, transcendental, sincere manifestation. You are the original personality of God. The whole soul, since they manifest of the world, you have never agreed with Thinking of you as my friend, I have you.
Get behind the barrier. I told you to stop resisting.
Sometimes one of my friends, all those offenses. You are the father simply because of that sake. I'm moving and I'm moving. You are a master. If there be anyone greater, you are behind the barrier. And you ask for your mercy. And the power is that please hold it wrongs I have done you. After saying
Based on my calculations, which is severe. Before you are saying behind the eyes, not finished simply by something that is, well, you're doing serious taxes when I charge you when I worship. It is not by these means that one can see me as I am. When I hear of you,
Tactical visor activated.
For those who minds are attention the personal feature of the supreme. Advancement is very troublesome. To make progress is a discipline. It is always difficult to produce an automatic. But those who worship me in more activities of the week, and in those who have a religion, the amazing personal
I was only following my programming.
But even if I sort of and just try to work for me because by working for me, you'll come to the perfect stage that how everyone able to work in the consciousness of me and trying to get in that whole source and trying to be so situated. If you do not take to the practice and engage yourself in cultivation of knowledge, better than knowledge, however, is meditation, and meditation is pronunciation of pronunciation, for such pronunciation, work, and think, peace of mind.
One who is not envious, but is a patron of all living entities, who does not think himself a proprietor and is free from false ego, who is equal in both happiness and distress, who is tolerant and always satisfied self-control and engaged in emotional service and determination. His mind and intelligence is fixed on me, such that the fear of mind every day of me. He for whom no one is driven to difficulty and who is disturbed by anyone, who is hyperfocused and happiness and distress, fear and anxiety is very dear to me. BHAGAVAD who is not dependent on the force of activities, who is pure expert without figures, frequent things, and not striving for some result is very dear to me. One neither wills it nor grieves, who neither laments nor desires or announces both auspicious and inauspicious things, such that is very dear to me. One who is equal to friends and enemies, who is able to and honor and dishonor, fusing both happiness and distress, who is always free from contaminating association and always silent and satisfied with anything, who doesn't care for any residence, who is fixed in knowledge and who is engaged in devotional service, such a person is very dear to me. Those who follow the imperishable path of devotional service and become living Christians of the faith, making new supreme goal, are very, very dear to me.
True self is without form.
Chapter 13, the nature and enjoyer and consciousness. Arjuna said, "O my dear Krishna, I wish to know about the hierarchy of nature, the enjoyer, and the field and knower of the field, and of knowledge and the object of knowledge." The supreme personality of Godhead said, "The body, O son of Kunti, is called the field, and one who knows his body is called the knower of the field." O son of Bharata, you should understand that I am also the knower in all bodies, and understand the body as the knower's full knowledge. That is my opinion. Now, please hear my brief description of the field of activity and how it is constituted, what its chargings is are, whence it is produced, who the knower of the field of activities, and what its influences are. The knowledge of the field of activities, the knower of activities, is returned by every stages in various stated writings, is expected as an independent context of all reason, as the cause and effect. The five great elements, false ego, intelligence, the unmanifested, the 10 senses, and the mind, the 5 sense and desire, hatred, happiness, distress, and happiness, and that symptoms and convictions are considered in summary to be the field of activities and interactions. I require violence, tolerance, simplicity, approaching God by spiritual master, happiness, steadiness, self-control, renunciation of objects of sense gratification, absence of false ego, perception of the death, old age, and disease, attachment, prudence, entanglement, life, time, rescue, nothingness, unpleasant and unpleasant events, concept and elevated abilities, desiring, tolerance, attachment, general master, socialization, and I shall have some middle realm, which is the case of eternal power, spirit of meaninglessness, and subordinates to me, rising up and out of the material world. Everywhere are his hands and legs, his eyes, head, and faces, and he has ears everywhere, and the way the super soul exists, pervading everything. The super soul is the original source of all senses, yet he is without senses. He is unattached, although he is the maintainer of all living beings, he transcends the modes of nature. At the same time, he is a master of modes of material nature. The supreme truth is that outside inside of all living beings, the living and non-living. Because he is so, he is also beyond the power of material senses to see with man. Although far, far away, he is also near to all. Although the super soul appears to be the eyes of all beings, he is never he is
You're trying to
this can be still happens in very small. He is the source of light and all luminous objects. He is beyond those of matter and matters. He is light, he is not he is the God, he is the truth in everyone's heart. That's the field of activities of body knowledge and all knowledge starting on me over my abilities and I must have things on nature and those of that people and simply being the best of all nations and those of that lives to consider nations and all the ways of the thousand days and days to soul. The limits of the eternal field follows the ways of life and joy through those natures is the situation of the eternal field of good and evil amongst various species. Yet in the body there is another fundamental God who is the Holy Spirit who exists as the overseer and the firm nature and who is known as the super soul. One who understands the philosophy concerning the zero nature, the living entity, the extraction of those nature, is sure to attain liberation. He who will not take birth here and regardless of special being, some people within themselves through meditation, others through the cultivation of knowledge, and still others through working without their desires. Beginning by those who although not uncertain and conversant, and spiritual knowledge begin to worship the supreme person upon whom God becomes because of the continued abilities to deal the path of birth and death. But you know the right has no have never seen systems of moving and non-moving and a combination of field activities and an order of the field. One is the super soul, and the individual soul, and that is the sense that the soul and super soul, the body, the story of activities, one is the super soul, the dreams of body time, but see approaches and the information. One is the that the body, which is created by human nature, is the sound of many activities, and the simple mind is just the identities, if we compare the bodies, these things how things are changed later, these things to the body and perception. Those who are traditional eternity consider the imperishable soul as transcendental, eternal, and the honor of nature, despite contact with material body, the soul neither does anything, nor is entangled. The sky is their subtle nature, does not mix anything, although it is all pervading similarly. The soul situated in the body is in the foundness of the body, but is situated in the body. Those who are wrapped at the sun alone remains on the universe, so it is the living entity, the one who is the body, the living entity, the consciousness. Those who speak with eyes and knowledge between the body and the upper body, not understand the possible of the body, the material nature, the changes in God.
Double kill.
The three ways of freedom is think as attitude of God and said, and in what it comes to do, use this supreme wisdom, the best of all knowledge, knowing which all stages of attain the supreme perfection. By becoming fixed in this knowledge, one can attain every transcendental nature like my own, thus establish one is not born at the time of creation or disturbed at a time of dissolution. The total material substance is for Adam. The source of birth, and it is that God, and I think against the king of constant, it is the only way to something like that. It should be the same as the God, which is quickly, I will possible after, and the control of and how I receive this part, material,
evidence. When an eternal living entity comes in contact with nature that might be almost enough, he becomes conditioned by these modes. As soon as one of the modes in theory and values is illuminating and frees one from all simple reactions, those situated in that mode become conditioned by a sense of happiness and knowledge. The mode of passion is one of the modes of values and longings, and because of this, embodied living entities bound to material, primitive actions, BHAGAVAD GITA. No attempt to move the values from the ignorance is the delusion of all embodied living entities. The results of this mode are madness, indolence, and sleep, which find conditioned the soul. The good mode of goodness conditions one to happiness, passion conditions one to primitive action, and ignorance covering one's knowledge finds one to madness. Sometimes the mode of goodness becomes violence, the people knows sometimes the mode goodness can be experienced while all the gates of the body are open to divine knowledge. When there is increase, the mode of ignorance or some Hebrew, darkness, inertia, madness, and illusion are manifested. When one dies in the mode of goodness, he attains the pure higher fineness of the great sages. When one dies in the mode of passion, he takes birth among those engaged in primitive activities, and when one dies in the mode of ignorance, he takes birth among the ignorance. The result of pious action is fear, and is said to be the mode of darkness. The mode of passion results in misery, and action according to the mode of ignorance results in foolishness. From the mode of goodness, real knowledge develops. From the mode of passion, greed develops. And from the mode of ignorance develops foolishness, madness, and illusion. Those situated in the mode of goodness naturally go upwards to a higher fineness of the mode of passion, those earthly planets, and those in the honorable mode of goodness advance at a fixed loads. No one father sees how all activities run the whole is at work in these modes of nature, and there is supreme knowledge. The eternal mental of all these modes, he claims not fearful nature.
My blade is ready to be unleashed.
Material body, he can become free from earth. Truth are like a friend and enemy, and who has renounced all material activities. Each person has transcended the modes of nature. One who believes in all personal service and human circumstances, and one transcends the modes of pure nature, and transcends the and one in the basis of the intentional body, which is the life of the first world now, and is the constitution and has no happiness. Chapter 15. The yoga of the Supreme Person. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, it is said that there is no facial magnon tree that has reached upward and branches man, and he salutes all of the Veda tombs. One who knows this tree is the knower of the Vedas. The branches of this tree extend downward and upward, nourished by the three modes of material nature, which roots are the objects of the senses. This tree also has roots going down, and these are bound to the primitive actions of human society. The real form of this tree cannot be perceived in this world. No one can understand where it ends, where it begins, or where its foundation is. But determination, one must cut down this strongly rooted tree with the weapon of detachment. Thereafter, one must see to that place from which having gone, one never returns. And there surrenders to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, from whom everything began, and from whom everything has extended since time immemorial. Those who are free and from a false prestige, illusion, and falsification, who understand the eternal, who are done with material lust, who are free from the dualities of happiness and distress, and who under order know how to surrender as the Supreme Person attains that eternal kingdom. That supreme abode of mind is not illumined by the sun or moon, nor by fire or electricity. Those who reach it never return to this material world. The living entities in this conditioned world are not eternal fragmental parts. Due to the conditioned life, they are struggling very hard with the six senses, which include the mind. The living entity in the material world carries its different conceptions of life from one body to another, as the air carries aromas. Thus, he takes one kind of body and gives it to take another. The living entity has taken another gross body, obtains assertions, type of ear, eye, tongue, and nose, and sense of touch, which are grouped as the mind. He doesn't with sets of sense objects. The foolish cannot understand how a living entity can put his body, nor can they understand what sort of body he enjoys under the spell of the modes of nature. The one whose eyes are trained knowledge can see all this, and never intended for who are situated in self-realization can see it clearly. Those whose minds are not who are not situated in self-realization cannot see what is taking place. The splendor of the sun is the darkness of the whole world comes from me, and the splendor of the moon and the splendor of fire are also from me. I enter into each planet, and by my energy they stay in orbit. I become the moon, and thereby supply the use of life to all the vegetables. I am the fire of digestion in the bodies of all living entities, and I join with the air of life, outgoing and incoming to digest all kinds of precept. I am seated in everyone's heart, and from me come remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. By all the Vedas, I am to be known. Indeed, I am the compiler of the BHAGAVAD GITA, and I am known of the Vedas. There are two classes of beings, fallible and infallible. In the material world, every entity is fallible. In the spiritual world, every living entity is infallible. Besides these two, there is the greatest living personality, the Supreme Soul, impenetrable Lord himself, who has entered the worlds and is maintaining them. Because I am transcendental beyond both the fallible and the infallible, and because I am the witness, I am celebrated both the world and the Vedas as the Supreme Person. Whoever knows me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, without doubting is the knower of everything. He therefore engages in full devotional service to me of Son of BHAGAVAD. This is the most fundamental part of the Vedic scriptures of single time, which is disclosed now by me. Whoever understands this will become wise, and his endeavors will know perfection. The Divine and Demonic Natures, Chapter 16. There's a brief variety of dialects that They say it is produced with sex desire and has no cause other than lust. Following such conclusions, the demonic will lost themselves in having intelligence engaged in unofficial horrible works, but to destroy this world. Taking such things and lost themselves who conceive the pride and false deceit of demonic as illusion, or we stand down with attachment to fire and permanence. They believe that the private head senses is the prime necessity of human civilization. My enemies will also be killed. I am the Lord of everything. I am the enjoyer. I am perfect, powerful, and happy. I am the richest man surrounded by aristocratic relatives. There is none so powerful and happy as I am. If I shall perform sacrifices, I shall give some charity, and thus I shall rejoice. In return,
know your place.
As Indian repeated great remote species of the non-black or semi-pinky, such persons can never approach me gradually they slow down for those of optimal type of existence. These are the predates leading to the south, unless they were breed. Every sane man should give these up before they lead to the liberation of the soul.
Protect the sheep You are trapped in your own mind.
Chapter 17, The Divisions of Fate. Arcane Inquirer, O Krishna, what is the situation of those who do not
experience stability?
Are they in goodness and passion or in ignorance? The true personality of Godhead has the modes of nature applied by the body, soul, and faith and beauty, but sometimes in goodness and passion or in ignorance. The full of the in some years of those modes of nature, when you have the times faith, or in the field of the knows he has fire. No goodness, there is no ignorance, and there is no ignorance which is sincere. Those who know the severe austerities and fences, not recommended, not considered, supporting them in the pride and egoism, who are known by loss and happiness, who are foolish and be filtered with their knowledge,
You're already on defensive on the point.
even the two, The sacrifice of the sacrifice of things that mentions of the scripture as a matter of duty by those whose outright reward is of the nature of goodness. The sacrifice performed for some material benefit or for the sake of pride or shield of apparatus, you should know to be in the mode of passion. Any sacrifice performed for money about the actions of scripture, not to you, without faith, will be considered to be the mode of ignorance. Austerity of body consists of worship of the supreme Lord, the Brahman consists of faith, and unbiased. Austerity of speech consists of speaking words that are true faith, and such mental simplicity, gravity, self-control, and purification of existence, violence, here, peace of mind. This circle of austerity performed for transcendental faith by men not expecting material benefits or engaged only for the sake of the supreme is called austerity and goodness. Hence, performed at the time, the sake of gaining the sky honor and worship is simply no passion, but is indisputable fulfillment. Hence, performed at the goodness for the sake of the romantic story whose others is simply motions, should be loved to be the hands of the people of our case in the words of the but for performed at the professional and the resolve of the results, and the rules of the very passion, and to perform the and attain the supreme. Without desiring the truth results, must perform every single sacrifice by sincerity to the word cat. The purpose of such harmonic activities is to get free from the fear and blame.
25.
devotional sacrifice is indicated by the word sat. The word of sacrifice is also called sat. And all works of sacrifice pointing charity is true to the absolute nature of one Jesus, one person, that's not God. Any one of us is not spiritual things that have faith in something else from God. This is from the vision of God. And the vision is on the next. Chapter 18, conclusion, the perfection of renunciation. Arjuna said, O mighty one, I wish to understand the purpose of renunciation to God, and of the renunciation replied, Sannyasa, the third SDG master of senses. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, the giving up of activities are based on material desires to break from and all events, order of life, Sannyasa, and giving up the results of activities is what wise call renunciation to God. Some men, activities should be given as well. The other stages of maintain acts of sacrifice, charity, and penance should be abandoned. The best of the practice. Now hear my judgment without renunciation. Who tired among men, renunciation is declared in the scriptures to be the three kinds. Acts of sacrifice, charity, and penance are not to be given up. And if you perform these sacrifice, charity, and penance, hereby you can get great souls. All of these activities should be performed without asking for any expectation of result. They should be performed as a matter of duty or sacrifice. That is my final opinion. Prescribed duties should never be renounced. Performing the acceptance of prescribed duties because of illusion. Such renunciation is said to be without ignorance. Anyone who gives up prescribed duties are troublesome or have the fear of bodily discomfort is said to have renounced the mode of passion. Such action never leads to the elevation of renunciation. O Arjuna, when one performs a prescribed duty only because it ought to be done, and renounces all material association and attachment to the truth, his renunciation is said to be the mode of goodness. The intelligent renouncer situated in the mode of goodness, neither hateful of inauspicious word, nor of nasty or unauspicious word. There is no doubt about work. It is indeed impossible for embodied being to give up all activities, but he who renounces the fruits of action is called one who has truly renounced. For one who is not renounced, the fruitful fruits of action is not already placed, and two after that. Those who already renounced the word of life have such results as suffer or will. O mighty Arjuna, according to the death, there are 5 causes for the accomplishment of all action. Now learn of these from me. The place of action, the body, the form of various senses, and the different actions and their multitude of these are the 5 factors of action. Whatever right or wrong action a man performs by body, mind, or speech is caused by these 5 factors. Therefore, one who thinks himself the only doer, not considering the 5 factors, is certainly not intelligent and cannot see things as they are. One who is not motivated by false ego, whose intelligence is not entangled, though he kills men in this world, it does not kill, nor he is bound by his action. Knowledge, the object of knowledge, knower are the 3 factors that motivate action, the sense is the work, and the doer are the 3 constituent sets of action. According to the 3 different modes of material nature, there are 3 kinds of knowledge, action, performer of action. Now here are them of me. That knowledge is on which one divided spiritual nature is seen in all living entities 3. They are divided into innumerable forms, you can understand it being a mode of goodness. That knowledge by which one sees that it is in very different body, very different type of living entity, and you should understand to be the mode of passion. And the knowledge by which one is attached to one kind of work, that all in all, without knowledge of the truth, and which very meager, is said to be the mode of darkness. That action which is regulated and which is performed without attachment, without love for hatred, without desire for good results, is said to be the mode of goodness. An action performed with great effort by one seeking to gratify his desires and acted from a sense of false ego is called action in the mode of passion. That action performed in illusion is disregarded as truthful injunctions and without concern for future bondage or for the violence or distress caused to others and said to be in the mode of ignorance. One who performs his duty without association with the modes of material nature, without false ego, and predetermination, and enthusiasm, and without wavering in success or failure, is said to be a worker in the mode of goodness. The worker who is attached to the work and the fruits of the work, desiring to enjoy those fruits, and who is greedy, and envious and fear, and moved by joy and sorrow, is said to be in the mode of passion. The worker who is always engaged in work against injunctions of scripture, who is materialistic, obstinate, cheating and expert, and insulting others, who is lazy, always morose, and procrastinating, is said to be a worker in the mode of ignorance. The whiner of wealth. Now please listen as I tell you, and be clear the different kinds of understanding and combination according to the 3 modes of material nature. The separate for the understanding by which one knows what ought to be done and what ought not to be done, what is to be feared and what is not to be feared, what is binding and what is liberating, and is the mode of goodness. That understanding which cannot distinguish between religion and irreligion, between actions to be done and action that should not be done, is in the mode of passion. That understanding which considers a religion to religion, religion to be irreligion, understood illusion, and darkness, and strange ways in the wrong direction, though powerful is the mode of ignorance. Those are not the determination which is unbreakable, which is not sustained with steadfastness by yoga practice, which thus controls the activities of the mind, life, and senses, is determination in the mode of goodness. But the determination by which one holds fast the critical results in religion, economic development, sense gratification, is of the nature of passion, O Arjuna, and the determination should not go beyond the dreaming, fearfulness, lamentation, or senses, and illusion. Such an intelligent determination, O son of Pritha, is the mode of darkness. O best of the Mahabharata does not please hear from me about these 3 kinds of happiness, but which vision soul enjoys, and by which he sometimes comes to the end of all distress. The that which is the beginning may be like poison, but at the end is just like nectar, and its witness when self-realization is said to be happiness in the mode of goodness. That happiness which is derived from the contact of the senses with their objects, and which appears like nectar at first poison, at the end is said to be the nature of passion. And that happiness which is the blind to self-realization, which is delusion from beginning to end, which arises from sleep, laziness, and illusion, is said to be the nature of ignorance. There is no being existing either here or among the demigods in the higher planetary systems, which is free from these 3 modes, born of material nature, Brahma-Hanagas, Pitasasayas, Vrayas, and Sutsugas, and distinguished by the qualities born of their own natures in accordance with material modes, who chastise the enemy, peacefulness, self-control, austerity, purity, tolerance, honesty, knowledge, wisdom, and religiousness. These are the natural qualities by which the Brahmanas work. Heroism, power, determination, resourcefulness, courage in battle, generosity, and leadership are the natural qualities of the work for the Satyas. Holding down talent, perfection, and business are the natural work for the Vyasas. And for Sudras there is labor and service to others. By following the qualities of work, every man can become perfect. Now please hear from me how this can be done. By worship of the Lord, who is the source of all beings, and who is all-pervading, a man can attain action, attain perfection, through performing his own work.
It is better to engage in one's own occupation, even though one may perform it imperfectly, than to accept another's occupation and perform it perfectly. Duties prescribed according to one's nature are never affected by sinful reactions. Every endeavor is covered by some fault, just as fire is covered by smoke. Therefore, one should not give up a work born of his nature, O son of Kunti. Even such work is full of fault. One who is self-controlled and unattached to disregards all material wounds can obtain by practice of renunciation a high spiritual stage of freedom from reaction. O son of Kunti, learn from me how one who has achieved this perfection contains supreme perfectional stage. Brahman, the stage of the highest knowledge by acting in the way I shall now summarize. Being purified by his intelligence and controlling the mind of determination, giving up objects of sense gratification, being free from attachment and hatred, one who lives in a secluded place, who eats a little, who controls his body, mind, and power, speech, who is always in trance, who is detached, free from false ego, false strength, false pride, lust, anger, acceptance of material things, free from false proprietorship and peaceful. Such a person certainly elevates the position of self-realization. One who is thus transcendentally situated, and one realizes the supreme and Brahman, and the blissfully joyful. He never laments or desires to have anything. He is equally disposed towards every living entity. In that state, he attains pure devotional service unto me. One can understand me as I am, as the supreme personality of Godhead, only by devotional service, and when one is full of consciousness of me by such devotion, he can enter the kingdom of God. Though engaged in all kinds of activities, my pure devotee under my protection reaches the eternal and imperishable abode of my grace. And all activities just depend upon me, and work always under my protection. In such devotional service, and fully conscious of me. If you become conscious of me, you will pass over all obstacles of pollution in life by my grace. But however, you do not work in such consciousness, but act through false ego, not hearing me, you will be lost. If you do not act according to my direction and do not find, then you will be falsely directed. By your nature, you will have to be engaged in warfare. Under illusion, you are now declining to act according to my direction. And by compelled by the work born of your own nature, you will act all the same, O son of Kunti. The Supreme Lord is situated in everyone's heart, O Arjuna, and is directing the wanderings of all living entities who are seated as on a machine made of material energy. O scion of the Bharata, surrender unto him utterly by his grace, you will attain transcendental peace and supreme eternal abode. Thus I have explained to you knowledge still more confidential. Deliberate him on his folly, and then you will what you wish you to do. Because you are my very dear friend, I am speaking to you of supreme instruction, the most confidential knowledge of all. Hear this from me, for this is your benefit. Always serve me, become my devotee, worship me, and I pray you focus unto me. Thus you will come to me without fail. I promise you this because you are my very dear friend. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I have delivered you from all sinful reactions, do not fear. This confidential knowledge may never be explained to those who are not austere or devoted, engaged in devotional service, nor to one who is envious of me. For one who explains this supreme secret to devoted to devotional service is guaranteed, and the end he will come back to me. There is no servant in this world more dear to me than he, nor will there ever be one more dear. And I declare that he who studies the sacred conversation of ours worships me by his intelligence, and one who listens with faith and reverently from straight and simple reactions, attains the auspicious plants, where the highest is well. O son of Pratha, O conqueror of wealth, have you heard this with an attentive mind, and are your ignorance and illusions now dispelled? Arjuna said, my dear Krishna, infallible one, my illusion is now gone, I have regained my memory by your mercy. I am now permanently free from doubts, and I am prepared to act according to your instructions. Son of Raja said, thus have I heard the conversation of two great souls, Krishna and Arjuna, and so wonderful is the message that my hair is standing on end. By the mercy of Vyasa, I have heard at this most confidential time, said every master of all mysticism, Krishna, who was speaking personally about Arjuna. O King, as I repeatedly recall this wondrous and holy dialogue between Krishna and Arjuna, I take pleasure being thrilled at every minute. O King, as I remember the wonderful form of Lord Krishna, I am indescribable, wonder more and more, I rejoice more and more. Wherever there is Krishna, master of all mystics, and wherever